The 10th of April, Rabbi Levitt. More,
Agada.
more on the 10 plagues. I hope
Yes. Okay. So let's see here. Did I mark off where it is? Well, shouldn't be too hard to get it because it's the beginning of the Seder.
we have the creation of the Jewish people and the creation of the world.
Yes. And what we were saying was that here, yeah, the Makos, the 10 steps to recreate the world, Sefer Sheni. We're still holding with that question. Why is Shmos called Sefer Sheni? Mitzvahs Rosh Chodesh, Sarah Maimoros, that correspond to also another Asara Maimaros that brought upon the plagues. This is a Hiddush that we didn't see before. We just thought they're all connected in terms of 10. There's 10 Maimaros, there's Asara Sadibrus, and there's Esther Makos. Where's the Amira in the Makos? But what Rav Gladstein brings over here, and I looked it up in the Medrash, that also the Makos, there was they came into being through 10 statements from Hashem. So the whole history of the world for these tens is taking place with Hashem's statements, Maimaros and Dibros. Okay, so now we continue. So we said that the Makos were like a second creation, and that there was 10 Maimaros. Since they're a creation, they need Maimaros because Brias Olam needs Maimaros, just like the first Brias Olam, Asara Maimaros, Bara Olam. So we got another Asara Maimaros that brought about the Makos that were like a second creation. And this was we said this was just, for everybody who wasn't there by Maisa Bereshis, there wasn't really anybody that was there. So now we got another Maisa Bereshis by Makas Bechoros. We see that Hashem is the one who created the world, and not only created the world, but he is in control over everything that happens in the world even after it was created. And now we continue. And now we go to the Maharal. The Maharal, he explains and expands, take this idea another step. He makes a connection between the Asara Maimaros at the time of creation with the Maimaros that were spoken out in the Makos that took place in Mitzrayim. And he demonstrates that the order of Hashem's Asara Maimaros by Bris Olam is reversed in the order of the Makos. How does that work exactly?
So the 10th plague corresponds to the first statement.
Oh, so he says over here that he he spoke to he asked Rav David Cohen. Rav David Cohen is a well known Rosh Yeshiva of Chevron Yeshiva here in Eretz Yisrael, and he told him that according to the Maharal, this is the way they pair up. The first Makkah corresponds to the 10th mimer of the Asara Maimaros of Maisa Bereshis, and the second Makkah corresponds to the 7th mimer.
The 7th or the 9th?
The 7th, according to this. The third Makkah corresponds to the 4th mimer. The 4th Makkah corresponds to the 8th mimer. The 5th Makkah to the 6th. The 6th Makkah to the 9th. And the 7th Makkah to the 3rd. And the 8th Makkah to the 5th mimer. And the 9th Makkah to the 2nd mimer. And Makkah's Bechoros, that corresponds to the first mimer of Bereshis Olam. So you'll ask that the order doesn't seem to be exact. It's a bit random. It's not an exact reversal of the order of creation.
Right.
So Rav David Cohen explained that even though the order is not completely consistent in the reversal, but we say that it's in the Maharal means when he says it's in reverse order because the first Makkah did correspond to the last mimer of Maisa Bereshis, and the 10th Makkah corresponded to the first mimer of Maisa Bereshis. So everything else in between is it's a sandwich. It's a sandwich of reversal. So let's see how he's gonna. I think he's gonna explain a little bit of the correspondences over here now. The Maharal utilizes the system of the Vilna Gaon. That's kind of funny to say that because the Maharal lived before the Vilna Gaon. Okay, that's what he says over here.
Maybe just because the Vilna Gaon is more familiar to us.
Yeah, whatever. Okay. And thus the first mimer of creation, that of sustenance and of food, corresponds to the first mimer used to inflict the makos. Now, we didn't go over that, but he has a whole rundown over here of the Asara Maimaros.
Wait, you lost me. The first statement of creation has to do with food?
Yeah, what does that mean? 1 second. First mimer of creation, that of sustenance and food, corresponds to the first mimer used to inflict the makos. No, so I made a mistake. Sorry, made a mistake. And according to the Vilna Gaon, the 10th mimer of creation, according to the Vilna Gaon, the 10th mimer is that Hashem said, "Vayomer Elokim hinei nasati lechem es kol esev zoreya zera asher al pnei kol haaretz v'al kol ha'etz asher bo pri etz zoreya zera lechem yeh lechem la'ochla." That's that Vayomer Elokim. That's the 10th mimer according to the Gaon Mivilna.
And that's food and sustenance.
Yes. So the 10th mimer of Maisa Bereshis corresponds to the first mimer used to inflict the makos. How so?
Blood.
Because Hashem, right? The first makkah was dam. What was dam? Dam was a bittul of the water in the river. And that was the source. The river was the source of the sustenance of Mitzrayim. They didn't have rain. They relied on the water that overflowed its banks and gave sustenance to the ground like that. So that was turned into blood. So the fields and the crops were left without water. And like that, produce was not able to grow. And in addition to that, not only were the produce and the crops not able to grow, but they weren't able to drink anything. They didn't have any water. So this was the Mitzrayim, they lost their source of sustenance. That's quite interesting. So that's how the first Makkah corresponds to the 10th mimer.
What is the pasuk for the 10th mimer? Do you have that in front of you?
Yeah. Yes. This is in Bereshis, Perk Aleph, or first chapter 1, and it's verse 29 to 30.
Okay, got it.
Right. Oh, so that's interesting. Okay, so he goes through each showing how each Makkah had a correspondence to the Asara Maimoros. And interesting, right? The which Makkah was Makkah's Choshech? We had Makkah's Choshech.
That was 9.
Right? So that, he says here, that reaffirmed the mimer of Yehi Or, which according to this count that he's got, that was the second mimer. The first mimer was Maisa Bereshis Bara Elokim, even though it doesn't say an Amira, but that actually is based upon the Gemara. The Gemara asked, we only got 9 Amiras. And the Gemara answered, the first one is Bereshis Bara Elokim. This is a Gemara. Want to know where that Gemara is? Rosh Hashanah Lamed Beis. Ahmed.
That's the source for the 10th. I'm sorry, for the first statement of creation.
Yes.
Was it again Rosh Hashanah?
Rosh Hashanah Lamed Beis. I don't know whether it's Lamed Beis, Amid Aleph, or Amid Beis, but it says Lamed Beis.
Okay.
Over there, the Gemara asks that when we look into the Chumash, we only see 9 Vayomers. We don't see 10.
Right.
So the Gemara answers that the word Bereshis also has to be counted as a mimer. Because the mimer means that there was a statement that Hashem made that through that mimer the world came into being. Right. So even though it doesn't say in the pasuk, it doesn't have the word Vayomer, but we see that that's what the pasuk. That's the whole subject of the pasuk. Bereshis bara Elokim. Hashem created the
heaven and the earth.
Yeah. Okay.
And that corresponds to the 10th plague.
The 10th plague is, yes, correct. Right, very good.
And that's the death of the firstborn.
Right.
So we say Baruch Chei Ha'olamim at the end of the bracha that you say after you eat. Blessed is the life of the universe. So Hashem is life.
Right. He's the essence of existence. That's what we learned in the Nefesh HaChaim that we didn't really understand. He's the only essential thing that exists.
Right. So he is life, and the opposite of that is death.
Yeah. Yeah, we say Hashem Elokim Chaim. And even the four-letter shame of Hashem, Yud Ke Vav Ke. Chazal saw in those four letters they saw the four different Yud Ke Vav Ke. So the first part of the two letters is Haya. Haya Hoveh V'Hiyeh. He was, he is, he will be. Always will be. That's the Vilna Gaon says that's the kavana that one has to have when he sees the shame Yud Ke Vav Ke in the tefillas. Just one interesting thing here that he says. This is all basically from Reb David Cohen that he's bringing. There's a similarity between the fifth mimer of creation and its corresponding makkah. Where do we see, what do we see over there? The fifth mimer. The fifth mimer
corresponds to the 8th plague.
Correct. Wow, very good. Oh, you wrote that down.
I wrote down the correspondence that you gave me.
Very good. Okay, so listen to this. um, in Hashem's declaration on the third day of creation, he stated, Eitz pri osa pri laminoi, fruit trees yielding fruit, each after its kind. It's Pasuk in Bereshis, first chapter, Pasuk Yud Aleph. This meant that not only should the trees come forth, but that the tree itself should taste like the fruit. The trees did not comply, actually, and they were punished for not listening to Hashem. Remarkably, we find a similar occurrence in the corresponding Makkah of Arba.
Arba is
Locusts.
locusts.
So what happened by Makkah's Arba? That's the eighth Makkah, Makkah's Arba. The locusts were directed to consume all the trees that were growing. And this is the pasuk in Shmos, chapter 10, pasuk hey, 10:5. V'ochal es kol ha'etz hatzomeach lechem min hasoda. The locusts will consume all the trees that grow for you from the field. This is what Moshe Rabbeinu told to Paro. However, the locusts themselves, they actually deviated from Hashem's command. It says in the pasuk, "Ochal es kol ha'etz," and we're taking that to mean the tree itself. But what did they do? They didn't eat the tree. They deviated from the command. They didn't eat the tree. They just ate the fruits from the tree. And this is what it says in Pasuk Tesvav, verse 15, in that same chapter. That's what it says over here, Ibid. That means the same chapter. Vayochal, it says, Vayochal es kol esev ha'aretz, ve'es kol pri ha'etz. So therefore, Rav David Cohen says, just like there was a deviation in the creation, in the fifth mimer, so too there was a deviation in its corresponding makkah, the eighth makkah with the arba. That's interesting.
And they both have to do with trees.
Yeah.
So what's in Shemos 10:15 again?
That sounds like the Hashem's told Moshe to tell to Paro, this is what the Makkah is going to do. The locusts are going to consume ochal es kol ha'etz hatzomeach lechem min hasoda.
I thought that was what was in 10:5.
That's 10:5, right?
What's 10:15?
10:15 is what the locusts actually did. They were vayochal es kol esav ha'aretz ve'es kol pri ha'etz.
All the fruit of the tree, not the tree itself.
Yeah. They left the tree.
Fascinating. Okay, well, I think our time is up for today. Thank you, Rabbi.
Okay, Yashikoya.
So
Baruch Hashem. Glad we got the chance to
tomorrow,
get together.
what?
I'm glad we got an opportunity to get together.
Absolutely. Yeah. What about tomorrow? Do you want to learn tomorrow?
Yeah,
Okay, great.
Bez Hashem.
Now, do we have to burn the chametz tomorrow?
Tomorrow is yes. Tomorrow is the burning of the chametz. Yes.
Okay, so I can probably do that in the break in between Rabbi First and you.
Oh, that's right. Oh, That's gonna. Oh, what's the time? What does it say on the calendar? What the time is? You know?
I'll get it. I have a calendar here. Until 11:20.
Soksman bir chametz. 11:20 according to Magen Avram. 11:36 according to the Vilna Gaon. Okay. So
So
I see what you mean.
can't wait until after your shiur, but I can do it before your shiur. Rabbi First usually ends at 10:30, and you don't start until 10:45, so that gives me 15 minutes, which should be enough for me to run down and throw it in the fire.
Okay. And you don't have to say Kol Chamira either tomorrow.
Oh, right, we say that on Shabbos.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, and they have a fire in my block. They have a big they put a big dumpster and they build a fire, so I don't have to build the fire. I just have to go throw it in.
Right.
All right. So great. So I'll see you tomorrow.
Okay, Bezrat Hashem. Hey, have a great day at Tzlocha Rabbah with all your Yontif preparations.
Thank you. Yeah, I got to go now take down all the Pesach microwaves and
Oh, okay, good.
the bugs that accumulate over there.
Oi.
All right. See you later.
Okay, all the best.